Hey Aquarius, what's going on? We are here with a timeless reading. Welcome. The first card that we have out is the World. I'm also seeing the Hierophant and Three of Swords. Eight of Swords, Four of Cups. Magician, Three of Pentacles, Ten of Wands. In the very middle of the spread, we have Three of Swords above Ten of Wands. This energy, I feel like everything sort of, like the gravity of the reading, that's what's sort of the most dense as far as gravitationally speaking. It's kind of like everything else converges at that point. When we have Three of Swords and we have Ten of Wands, this can be something that feels like, it can feel like something that almost feels like too much to process. Maybe even actually feels that way, and it isn't an almost. Maybe you're looking at something and being like, this is just too much. This is too overwhelming. This is too much to take in right now. I get that kind of thing here with this. Like something can feel like extremely heartbreaking or painful with the Three of Swords. I know we've been, like, Three of Swords has been coming up, and sometimes it's not always the easiest thing to be seeing here, but I'm also seeing though the Sun too, and so I feel like whatever this is that's going on, it's also bringing some important stuff to light as well, because the Sun is going to be connected with things that we're seeing that we weren't seeing before, things that we're realizing that we weren't realizing before. And I also feel too like this is a time, because we have Three of Pentacles connecting with Three of Swords, this can be a time where there's actually a working with the things that feel difficult to work with. Like this can be working with some type of pain. For some of you, there may be something physically going on. Like this can be an actual physical thing that you are dealing with. Because Three of Swords I see as being like any type of pain, suffering. Like it can be physical, it can be mental, it can be emotional. And whatever this is, it could feel like it's becoming like a very big obstacle, because Ten of Wands is connected with it. So this can be, maybe for some of you, something going on with your health can be connected with this. Whatever it is with the Three of Swords, it can be something that feels like kind of troubling and maybe like a little bit problematic, even when it comes to you trying to do your stuff. I think this impacts you in a way where it may not allow you to go about your day as you normally would. And there can also be something going on too where you can feel like mentally maybe not being in the best place because of this either. Because I'm seeing Magician be connected with Four of Cups, and this can be you in a position where you could be potentially making things happen, but just in light of what's going on, you can feel like, I'm not really in the mood right now. So even though we all are starting off with the World, which is generally like, look, we're starting this new chapter. We have the Magician here. What do you want to do with that? It feels like this thing has to be addressed. Maybe you're seeing that something doesn't fully align. This new chapter is supposed to be about reciprocity in a big way. Three of Swords may be realizing where something is not giving that energy, where that's like not actually what's going on, and it can be something that very much differs from that, and that can be why you don't want to participate in something here. You can be wanting to turn down anything that you feel like does not feel fair to you, or if you don't look at it that way, you can say whatever doesn't feel balanced, or whatever feels like not a good investment of your energy. Or I'm giving this, but then I'm like not really seeing an adequate return on that. And so it's going to be something connected with this. The beauty of this is that it's teaching you more about worth, about what holds worth for you, about your own worth as well. And it can feel challenging to work with this, but I'm also seeing healing that's happening too. Because it feels like this is connected with stuff that you currently have going on. And so this is going to bring things into focus, bring things into awareness. At the same time, it can be things that are hard to maybe admit to, but the feeling that I get from this Three of Swords is that maybe this is bringing something to your attention that can be difficult to come to terms with. Like it can be saying, you want this or you need this isn't working, this is not that. And so something's gonna need to be done. And even though you can be like, wow, I am learning this stuff that I maybe wasn't aware of before. I'm learning about what holds innate value for me and what sort of balances the scales or doesn't. What feels like it's put on the scale and then like it doesn't really have any weight when it's put on there, and so it's kind of meaningless for me personally. This happening is a wonderful thing, and also at the same time it can be telling you some things about a situation that you're in, maybe multiple situations that you're in that are not reflective of this revelation that you're having, and that can be where it's hard to sort of take that in. And it can feel again like Three of Swords and 10 of Wands is feeling like something may feel like too much to process, too heavy, or it may just be like too painful in a way where it can be like the truth is kind of here, and this can feel like a lot to take in. The thing is though that this chapter that you're starting, this is a really big chapter, and what's going on within the chapter is that it's about participating in things that feel worthwhile to you, participating in things where you're like, this feels truly, I feel at peace, this is a good use of my resources, my energy, my time, my care, my attention. That's what this chapter is about. So you can feel like the things that you're doing are worth it to you. The things that you're involved in are worth it to you, because you are understanding more about your value, your personal value, your self-worth, and your values in general, which are connected to your self-worth. Because when you're in a situation where there's a lack of reciprocity, and we stay within that situation, it is reflective of not seeing ourselves as being worthy, and so there's that compromise being made. And so that's going to be reflective of where we are with our self-esteem. This feels like something majorly you're coming to terms with it, and that you're also coming into a place where you're realizing these important things. And what that can mean is that you're also seeing the situations that are not truly reflective of your values and not truly reflective of your self-worth anymore because of where it is now. Whereas before, if you had been underestimating yourself, if you had been undervaluing yourself, then you're in these situations and that's sort of what you go along with because you don't think that highly of yourself. And so now it feels like there's an increase of self-worth that's happening, and there's an increase of understanding. If I'm going to feel like I'm being appreciated, like I appreciate myself, that I care about myself, that I love myself, why would I be giving my energy to something that doesn't feel compatible? Why would I be doing that to myself? And in this revelation, it can just be something that feels difficult to realize all the way, just because what does that mean for certain situations that you're in now? Because there can be some situations that you've entered into thinking that it was going to be reciprocal, that it was compatible. Now you're learning more about your values and seeing, I actually don't think that this is compatible with my values, or I don't think that this is compatible with my self-worth, or I'm not feeling valued, or I'm feeling like my needs are not being met. I value myself enough to know that that is something important for me to be showing up for myself. And so now I'm looking at these certain situations and I'm seeing how they're not reflective of this revelation that I'm having. And you may feel too like it's on you to now sort of deny access, or for you to sort of step back from things that don't feel compatible with your values. Things that feel like you're giving and then not getting what you need back, and then your needs are not being met because it's like the wrong equation. It's like the wrong ingredients to get sort of the outcome that you would need. And as this chapter feels like it puts all of these things up to be questioned so you can do what you need to do here, I feel like action is sort of needed on your end. But it can also be something that like change is going to be required then. Processing stuff that feels difficult to process is going to be required then. And it can just be something all around where you're like, I want this situation to be reflective of my values, to be compatible, to be meeting my needs. And in recognizing that that's not what's happening, I feel kind of stuck there in that. For those of you that you don't want to maybe make a choice here, or just be like, oh, this just feels like too much to bear right now. I feel like you're knowing things, like you're realizing things, and at the same time it can just feel like a lot that you're being asked to work with. And it can be something where you feel like you sort of have to, you get put in a position where you have to choose. It's either going to be like your needs being met, or it's going to be compromising because of a lack of self-worth. I feel like it ultimately just comes down to that. And for many of you, this does feel like it has to do with something that you currently have going on, which that also brings a whole element to things as well. Because when we've sort of put time and put energy into things, and then it's not sort of what we need it to be, we can be in a frame of mind sometimes where it's like, well, I put in all of this energy, like I might as well wait, or maybe something's gonna change, or like I don't want this to feel like it's a waste of my time, so maybe I should just keep going. It feels like one of those that is also being worked out here too. Some of you can get some guidance working through this because of having the Hierophant here, Mercury is connected with it. There can be somebody that you are chatting with that's going to sort of help you maneuver through this, if that is something that you want. So it can be your guides that you're talking to. It can really be anything with the Hierophant. It can be an aspect of yourself that you're speaking with. this feels like it's this type of hard work that's being asked of you if you want things to be feeling right and feeling balanced for you within your life, and feeling like the situations that you're, well, nonetheless, the situations that you're in are going to reflect your self-worth. And so if your self-worth is increasing, and if there's more of a focus on the revelations connected with your value system, anything that is not aligned is gonna have to go. Or there will be like actively choosing against that. And that being what this is connected with. I will say, because we have Saturn, because we have Taurus here, Saturn moves slowly, Taurus moves slowly. This feels like something that it feels like stuff has to come to light fully before moves are being made. So I'm not seeing this be like, change this thing right now. It feels like actually processing this first, and then things are going to be done. But I'm not seeing this be a like, do this right now. This feels like this is coming up right now. This is a topic right now. These things are coming to light right now. You can't really unsee them right now. And eventually something is going to be done with it if you choose to. There can be a part of you that kind of doesn't want to, but at the same time, you'll know that you are choosing to not have your needs met. Or you know that you are choosing situations that are not reflective of you being aligned with your values. So it will be choices that sort of neglect that, and you will feel like underappreciated, you will feel undervalued, and it will just reinforce that. It's one of those things too where it's like, once you see it, you can't really unsee it. And so then you can feel like it becomes then an active choice. It's not just like, why do I not feel appreciated? Like, why do I keep like finding myself in these situations? I just like don't really understand it. This feels like getting to a point where you're like really understanding things now. And so those choices need to be made. And if they're not, that's a choice as well. And that's essentially what's coming up here with this. And having Saturn here, it can be the very tough stuff that's asked of us to do, but then it creates that better life. It creates the more enjoyable life. It creates a life where you feel like there is harmony to it, like there is balance to it, where there's congruence to it. Congruence with your soul and what you feel like is the best fit for you. And that's what would either be chosen or chosen against. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.